So, when I was in kindergarten, one of our projects was to finger paint these big paper cutouts that looked like monarch caterpillars, and for whatever reason, mine ended up purple. And I thought it looked pretty awesome, but when it came time to hang up the class's caterpillars, I got chewed out by the teacher for breaking the rules. Caterpillars aren't purple is a line that will be cemented into my memory forever. I don't think I need to explain why this is a terrible lesson to teach kindergartners. I wish I had had a game like Blob 2 back then. There's always a lot of talk about the lessons that video games teach kids, like how to shoot up schools or disrespect grandparents or whatever. And while I don't really buy any of that, I do think Blob 2 at least attempts to teach some valuable lessons that most games do not. Every aspect of the game, from the graphics to the music to the dialogue to the gameplay, seems designed to teach kids about the importance of diversity and creativity and color and art. You play as Blob, an anthropomorphic blot of color who attempts to bring life back to the world after the evil comrade Black steals it all away. At the beginning of each level, the landscape is a desolate, monochromatic wasteland, and as you roll around, every object you touch springs to life. Based on your color, each painted object also adds to the musical track. Watching the level gradually flourish is such an inherently satisfying experience that I'm amazed more games don't use this concept. The closest analog I can think of is Katamari Damacy, which has you rolling up larger and larger objects over the course of a level. Where Blob 2 suffers compared to that game is that it is almost entirely objective focused. During your first run through of any level, you have to complete a series of tasks while a timer ticks down. These challenges aren't ever really a problem in and of themselves, but they seem at odds with the messages the game is trying to send. Considering it's so refreshing for a kids game to poke fun at organized religion, politics, unions, mass media, and industrialization, it's a bummer that the game forces you into these rigid objectives over and over again. Painting an entire city black and watching it explode into color is tons of fun, but having to paint specific buildings certain colors seems like the exact thing the game is rallying against. It doesn't help that the controls are finicky and floaty. Once you get past the halfway point of the game, it starts asking you to do things that are much more frustrating than they should be due to the way your character moves. Levels become more combat oriented, and since you use your health pool to attack, you're often left in situations where an attack misses and then you die instantly because of it. This is made even worse by the insane checkpoint system this game has. There aren't lives really, there are single-use life pickups, but if you die without one, you have to start back at the last checkpoint. You lose all your recent progress when this happens, which means buildings get unpainted, bad guys get undeaded, and unskippable cutscenes get unwatched. I'm not too proud to admit that I rage quit a children's game multiple times because of this stupid system. But there's so much to keep me coming back. The soundtrack is fantastic, with tons of different shades of jazz unfolding over the course of the game. Each level has its own unique take on the same basic sound. The graphics can be kind of indistinct, but the differences between the beginning of a level and the end is striking every single time. The cutscenes deserve special mention. They're fantastic little bursts of creativity in their own right. So at the end of the day, I think everybody should play Blob 2 for 1 or 2 levels. After that, the game becomes too much of a video game. But painting those first couple cities is an experience that feels startlingly unique. It's something anyone can appreciate. For about an hour or so, the caterpillars can be whatever color you want them to be.